Good day, Nigerians. Well, we know today it is the swearing in of Tinubu and Shettima as president and vice president of Nigeria. And we all know what transpired during the elections. A lot of people are not happy. They are forcefully going ahead and swearing in Tinubu as president, something that I am confident will soon be short-lived. Those of you that are angry and frustrated, I want you to keep your calm and keep your cool. You have to stand in defense of true democracy. A person that was not duly elected should not have been sworn in, and so what they are doing is illegal. Every Nigerian that knows you did not vote for Tinubu and they are forcing him on you, take a stand in defense of your nation and take your nation back from these political thugs who are sneaking in a president that was not duly elected by the majority of Nigerians. I want you to go ahead and listen to different people speaking on the subject matter. Share the broadcast with as many people as you can.
Nigeria is officially in a state of constitutional crisis. A certificate of return has been issued to a so-called president-elect unconstitutionally. The certificate of return issued to Alhaji Tinubu is a dud certificate. It is one certificate that breaches the provisions of Section 134. Therefore, the requirements to be declared as president-elect have not been met by Tinubu-Shettima ticket.
The swearing in of the character that is today the president-elect of Nigeria, in my own opinion, would be the end of that democracy.
There is a game they are playing, thinking that Nigerian people are fools. And I said it before, on this election, nobody can babangida us and get away with it. And I'm repeating it. This is daylight robbery. You gave us, the whole country supported you to amend the electoral law to show that the thing will be transmitted by electronic means. We fought tooth and nail to support you. And now at the time of election now, you come back to what we have been fighting against. What a shame. I'm only sorry for the country. I'm only sorry for you youths. But I warned you before, this government is a disaster. And that's why you are feeling everything now. They have no principle, no idea. They obey the law court when it suits them. They disobey when it loads them. It is not the result of a bad government, a disaster that God will help us to get rid of. I can assure you, there is no government, there is no president-elect at all. It's just a sham which will be proved in due course.
The arrogant INEC chairman and the incompetent president of Nigeria, I'm very, very sorry to say, the chairman should not have engaged in what he did. At the height of administrative rascality and official arrogance, sneak in the hour of 4 a.m., arrogate himself the power to interpret a section of the Constitution that needs no interpretation. Section 134 comes already interpreted, and recklessly proceeds to declare and issue a certificate of return. And our dear Mr. President, who is probably paying back a promise that Tinubu extracted from him way back in 2014 when they added their money and their votes for him to become president of Nigeria.
This country has got to a place where if justice is not done and seems to be done, the people will react. All that the Obasanjo is saying is warning you against doing the right thing. I, as a lawyer, I support going to court. I will condemn the Supreme Court in spite of all their past record, which is not credible. I will still say, let us go there.
Our opinions should not count. The result is what should count. But that result cannot be talked about because INEC has assured that we cannot talk about a result. Today, billions of naira later, you cannot actually go to the INEC website to view a result. And INEC announced a winner. So on exactly what basis was that done? So we cannot really be speaking to an election or to a result or to the recognition of a president-elect who has been announced purely based on the whims and caprices of Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. So it is the fundamental basis of democracy itself. We've been pretending for a while that we have a democracy.
Yes.
Now we have to now interrogate the content of that democracy and determine if we indeed have a democracy or if we've been lying to ourselves.
The whole thing was mismanaged. We scored over 1 million votes in Lagos, and they doctored all the results of our LB at every stage. That is why they can't release the thing from the transmission table. Why are they reluctant to do that?
Swear in anybody who does not meet the constitutional requirements of our country, you are engaging in an unconstitutional act. Mr. President, do not hold that inauguration. CJ and your lordship, do not partake in unconstitutionality. For Yakubu to issue that certificate, it was reckless. He is putting all our lives in danger.
You cannot make the mistake of installing somebody unconstitutionally. It's an overthrow of the Constitution. That person, now if you read section 1 subsection 2 of the Constitution, it says no person or group of persons shall be permitted to take control of the federal government or any part of it, take control of federation or any part of it, except in accordance with the Constitution. That section invests every Nigerian with authority to resist whoever is sworn in, contrary to the Constitution.
That's right.
Every Nigerian in every station of life, wherever he is, that is an order from the Constitution to that person to resist whoever is sworn in unconstitutionally. So it must be that those who want to do this swearing in have conspired against democracy and want to overthrow it. The Constitution says, section 14, subsection 2A, that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, and they give consent to those who govern through the Constitution. So where you do not observe the Constitution, it means that you do not have the consent of the people to rule. The people have a right to say, we are not going to recognize you or acknowledge you. What is coming to Nigeria is what these people, they are behaving like children, as far as I'm concerned. Any court in Nigeria is invested with the authority to interpret the Constitution and can say that the person who calls himself president was not duly elected and therefore cannot answer that title and cannot give any instructions that should be obeyed. And that would be the beginning of crisis. We have warned against this. I don't know what is making them behave, think that it's a joke. I don't know how you will take 200 million Nigerians as a joke.
If you swear in people that have not satisfied the requirement, you have by so doing ended democracy. On the 29th of May 2023, swear in Tinubu as this result is, you have ended democracy, whoever you are.
Pinning ourselves into a state of anarchy by insisting that the right thing be done. What we will be doing is to prevent anarchy. Okay. For a person who has not won an election, but who has purchased an electoral umpire, and who believes that he has purchased the court to the point where he can declare without any qualms that go to court. That's no longer about the persons responding to such provocation. It is actually the persons who are victims of that provocation who have the duty to insist that such provocation must not stand. So that is not spinning ourselves into anarchy. It is insisting that the right thing must be done.
If many of you are alive by the time they talk of Wild West, what called the Wild West those days, the Western region, is the people revolt against the result of a clear election in the Western region. That was what led to Wild West. It was spontaneous. So if the people if the judgment does not reflect the justice of the case, it is the people will react. I will talk about that. I'm not raising any alarm, but I warn them. This country, the use of this country, will not take lying low for anybody to cheat them and do what is called daylight robbery and say it's an election. Now, I will say more. I only know that the man has not won election, that has been rigged for him in a blatant manner, in a society where we have people, where we have professors that are not that. Unfortunately, it's the professors that are rigging election, which is unfortunate for us. But the youth will not agree. I know that. It is not raising any alarm. It is just the result of injustice. You cannot have peace without justice. You cannot have political stability without justice. And what follows that, you will follow. It is not that you are never just that say this. It is just the normal issue of events.
This democracy is going to end on the 29th of May 2023. Please write it. You cannot swear people who have not met the constitutional requirement. You can't do that.